remember reading Man's Search for Meaning. I'm actually making the film. And it was one of the books that influenced me the most, because the ability to find meaning, even in the most difficult time. And Viktor Frankl, to me, is just a godsend to this planet.
It's a great book.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's a great
If you haven't
book.
read it, please, whoever you're listening, read it. Or anybody's
That's
ever
Man's Search for Meaning. Yes, read that book.
It's incredible. But the point of your meanings change, your focus and your meanings change when your energy shifts. And you look at Steph Curry, the greatest 33-point shooter in the world, and people look at him and he goes and he shoots the ball from like almost half court, and he's chomping on the side of his mouthpiece, and he doesn't even wait to go. He turns and smiles, and he knows. And then all of a sudden the crowd goes wild and they go through. It's like, it looks like impossible. But where did that impossible come from? He built the myelin over and over and over again, so it's hardwired.
Yeah, exactly.
He knows exactly what did, and how did he do that? This is the part that we all forget. I always tell people, when you see people who are amazing in public, they're being rewarded in public for what they've practiced massively in private.
Yes, yes.
So here's his plan. Just take 15 years in the NBA. That's all he's been there. Greatest three-point shooter in history. Nobody even close if you're not familiar with the NBA. He practices 500 shots a day, every day, 7 days a week, bar none. That's 3,500 shots a week. It's 168,000 shots a month.
Right.
2.52 million shots, not forget his college career, just in his professional career, so that he can make 3,300 three-point shots and be the greatest in history. That's less than 1/10 of the time was it compared to his practice.
Right.
So the wiring in him is so powerful, but it doesn't just show up. Hope and excitement are wonderful things, but you need competency as well. And in order to have that, the hope can get you started, give you the drive, the vision, the aim, but you've got to have the execution. You have both the strategy and you've got to have the execution. Because motivation is, the reason I use it, it's like a warm bath. You should probably take a bath, but it doesn't last, right? You should still do it. But drive is like, I want to find out what drives you, because if we unleash your drive,
what drives you towards the right aim.
That's right. What is it that will unleash you? That's what this experience is about. That's different than just being motivated.
Okay,
and by the way, I find, tell me if it's the same for you, it's not just the aim or objective, it's strong enough reasons. In other words, somebody say, I want to make $1 billion, but they don't do it. And they even vision to get excited about it, $1 million, whatever it is. I want to have 3 perfect children. I want to write a book, whatever. The secret is reasons come first, answers come second. Once I know what I want, I got to figure out why.
Yes.
Because purpose is stronger than object. So the object may inspire you, but what's going to keep you going is strong enough reasons when it's tough. What are the reasons? Okay, I want this money. For what? Well, I want to provide a home for my mom. Well, that's very different than I just want to have this pieces of paper with pictures of dead people on it, right? And people say, I want money. They don't want money. They want an emotion. They want an impact. They want security, or they want freedom, or they want to be able to contribute, or they want to do something they think money will give them more choices on, right? They don't want the money. And many people focus on the surface desire, not knowing enough reasons to follow through. That's why New Year's resolutions don't work. 91% of them, I don't know what the latest statistic is, people don't follow through after 3 weeks. By the time they're hearing us speak, if they had New Year's resolutions, they're gone, because they don't have the reasons to push through and they don't have the strategy. I believe in modeling. I believe success leaves clues. My original teacher, Jim Rohn, taught me that. He said, if someone is successful at anything, they've got a great relationship and it's 20 years down the line and they still do it. Or they lost weight and kept it off for 10 years. Or they went from nothing to not just making money, but sustaining financial security and freedom for their family. They're not lucky. They're doing something different than you are. So instead of you trial and error, which is the standard way in which we learn, you find the pathway to power by finding someone who's done it consistently and produced results. It's very much what you do. It's finding the pathway. It's finding the DNA. It's finding the codex of how to go from where you are to where you want to be. But it is more than just the aim. That'll start you. You've got to have the purpose or the reasons or your purpose.
You said something that I think we could delve into technically too. Okay, so you said an aim isn't sufficient. It'll get you started. Okay. And then you said you have to have reasons. Okay. So let's think that through for a minute. So one of the things we do in this program that helps people rewire their aim is do a multidimensional analysis. And we step people through that. It's like, okay, now you've sort of figured out what you would want and need if you could have it. But let's flesh that out. So you could say, well, how would that positively affect your intimate relationship, your marriage, right? How would that positively affect your family? How would it affect your community?
So you're making them come up with reasons.
And the reasons, well, then you could imagine this too. You could imagine that, like, in some ways we're loose we're loose constellations of multiple motivations, and you want to meld those all together so they're serving the same aim.
The pull.
And then you're not
as opposed to being pulled apart.
Exactly.
I want to be totally successful and never be rejected.
Right.
If you're going to be successful on a social scale, that's not possible. And so if you have those two conflicts, you're going to take 2 steps forward and 3 back. And that's what we do with people. We have them re-engineer the values so they pull you forward as opposed to pull you apart.
Yes.
So the inner conflict is what's keeping them from executing.
Yeah, it means they're actually living out multiple stories simultaneously, and they don't have the same aim.
That's right.
Yeah, okay.
And that's okay, too. It doesn't have to all be the same story, but there has to be some unifying element to what matters most to you for you to live an extraordinary quality of life. Again, life on your terms. What you think extraordinary. Is that 3 children? Is that writing a book? Is that building a business? Is that all the above? I don't know.